back to another sit down chat video. As much as I love vlogs, I actually very much like sit down videos as well, where I feel I can just try and give you guys some tips and advice and help you with the questions that you have been asking me on social media. So today I wanted to talk about going back to the gym. So I have been back at the gym for, well, actually I've probably been back at the gym for about 3 weeks now, but my gym that I always go to wasn't actually open right away, so I had to go to another one, and then when mine opened, I obviously went back to that one. But I have been back at the gym probably for about 3 weeks. I did use the first week kind of just to get back into the swing of like using machines and things. I didn't go crazy. I feel like, however, I did have my garage set up. As you guys know, I am very lucky that I have a squat rack and a bench and a couple of dumbbells and resistance bands and a few cables and things, that I was able to maintain my workouts as much as possible. I could do all my compounds that I normally do, so I could bench the weight I normally bench, squats, sumo deadlifts, RDLs, military press, bent over rows, all that kind of stuff. So for me it was really just supplementing the accessory movements in the machines, because my dumbbells only went up to about, I think the maximum I had was 10 kilo, so that's fine for things like side lateral raises, but when it came to like lunges and other shoulder and chest work, it was obviously not where it needed to be. So my training was, I would say it was like 75% the same throughout this whole like 5 months of lockdown. Who knows where we're even at, who knows. Scotland's also just put in new restrictions, and it's a lot. It's a lot for your mind to be thinking that you're coming out of something and then it's slowly going back in, especially coming in to winter time. But we're staying positive. Everything has been put in place for a reason. So with that being said, I want to chat about going back to the gym. Obviously, like I said, I had a gym set up. I only had to change about 25% of my training. I was still kind of there 75%. However, effort wise, as much as I could do all the exercises, I feel like at the start, when obviously the gym's closed and initially it was only supposed to be 3 weeks, those 3 weeks I was kind of like, ugh, we'll just do it in the garage, and you're not really trying as much, and you're going in, you're just kind of going through the motions, like you're not actually training hard. And then that turns into 4 weeks and 5 weeks, and then before you know it, it's 5 months. So my training kind of took a dip at the start, and then I was like, right, this is lasting longer than we thought, and then kind of bringing it back up to about the 75% level. So obviously a lot of you don't have that kind of luxury. A lot of you, your gyms weren't even closed for that long, but most people, their gyms were closed for 5+ months. You were doing at-home workouts, and now it's time to get back into the gym, and I want to just kind of give you tips on how I would personally do that. Throughout lockdown, I did not change my diet. Now, when it comes to your progress, your diet has got to be the thing that you are putting more effort into, because you can go to the gym and you can do your workouts perfect and you can give it 100%, but if you come home and you're eating just junk all the time and you're not eating to support your goals, either over or under eating, then you're kind of wasting your time a bit. So that's obviously more for aesthetic purposes. If you are just going in to like be really strong, then obviously you can just eat and eat and eat, and that kind of thing. But if you're actually, most people do have aesthetic goals within the gym. That's kind of why most people go, and there's nothing wrong with that. I will always say there is nothing wrong with having an aesthetic goal, so long that it doesn't cause you to think negatively about yourself and to constantly focus on what you look like. I obviously have aesthetic goals. I want to look a certain way, but I am also very understanding of how long these things take, also understanding of all the other factors that come into play, such as you know, you go to the gym also for like therapeutic reasons. You go to put music in and be like, everybody leave me alone, because that's kind of what I do. There's that. There's also just like overall health, and then there's also a social aspect. A lot of people go to the gym with their friends, so there's a lot of things to consider. But when it comes to going back to the gym, I have been getting a lot of questions like how I'm doing it. Obviously I'm going to tell you what I think I would be doing if I actually hadn't had the garage set up that I had. So number one thing, like I said, is diet. So my diet did not change through lockdown. It was quite funny. I had my friends over one night when it was allowed, just a couple of weeks ago. We were outside, we actually sat in my garden, we had a pizza night, and we're just sitting there, and they're all like, ugh, put on so much weight over lockdown, or oh, this over lockdown. They went, apart from Steph. And I was like, that's because Steph knows. Steph knows how this works. Steph does not want to be just, you know, going crazy. But I think that also did come into play with the fact that I was still training. However, there's absolutely nothing wrong if over lockdown you didn't train. I know plenty of influencers who actually took months off the gym, months off of just training in general, who went for walks instead, who just were more relaxed with their diet and lifestyle in general, and that is totally fine if that was you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. This has been a pandemic. This is a very weird time in the world for everyone, so there's absolutely no issue if that has been you. If you've put on a few pounds, who cares? If you've lost some muscle, who cares? I definitely have lost a bit of muscle mass, which was going to happen. It was going to happen. But like I said, we're in a pandemic and we can only move forward from here. So with that being said, for me going back to the gym, I have kept my diet the same. What I would suggest is, if you're going back to the gym and you're just trying to get back into the way of things, number one, get a program. Now, if you followed one before, just start back with that one. If you have one already that you previously followed or made up, or you know what you want to do, go with that. If you don't, then make sure you actually find one that suits you. I have my new fall challenge coming out next Friday the 2nd of October. It launches and we start on the 5th of October, so it's literally about a week and a half until we start. These challenges are 4 years worth of my training and eating, and making sure that I give you guys all the tools that I have used over the past couple of years, well, not couple, 4 years, to kind of perfect my routine, if you like. So that is starting as of, well, launching as of next Friday. You can sign up just now if you are just needing program guidance, whether you're still working out at home or whether you're going back to the gym, either or. If you need healthy meal inspiration, is also there. It functions like an app on your phone. You can do everything from your mobile device, and I just think it's always the whole point in that website was always to have a community feel, so people feel like they're supported and they're doing it with other people. That is the whole point behind it. So it's always the first link in my description box. Check it out if you want to join in. Like I said, you can join right now, and we start we launch next Friday and we start a week on Monday, so the 5th of October, and it's going to be the last one of 2020. It's the last challenge of the year. My mind, I can't, do you know what, the fact that this year's nearly over, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing. We need 2021. But yes, if you are looking for a program, first link in the description. If you are not sure what you want to do in the gym, whether you are like, oh, do I go in and do I like try and bulk, or do I try and cut, or what do I do? I always think that if you're not sure what you want to do and you do not have like a very specific, I am doing this, then you should always go in at maintenance. So it's very easy to go online, work out your maintenance calories, just find a calculator online. These are obviously very yeah, they're obviously an estimate, and they are approximate, and they are not obviously exact to you and how your actual body works, but they are as close as that I feel that you can actually get in terms of telling you how much food you should be eating for your training. So get your program and get into the gym and just really push yourself with your training and work hard and eat at maintenance calories. And what you'll find over a few weeks is you'll either realise, actually I need to eat a bit more than this because I'm hungry, or I need to eat a bit less than this because it's maybe too much for me, or your energy expenditure just might be, actually your energy expenditure will be higher because you're going back to the gym, so it's going to be higher than what it's been over the past few months. So you'll either lose weight as a result, so you will automatically just go into fat loss, or you will find actually I need to eat more because I'm actually trying to build a bit of lean muscle. So that's where to start. Always start with maintenance calories and just adjust from there depending on how your body is responding. And just with training, I love the gym. I do. I would marry the gym. Would I get married again? Probably not. The once is fine. Once is quite fine. So yeah, with the gym, just make sure you are going in and training hard and you are pushing yourself, and just making sure that when you are eating, I think that I actually asked on Instagram yesterday, like, what are people's struggles with their health and fitness, and I'm going to do a bit of Q&A right now and try and answer some of them and like help you guys out with that area. Because I think a lot of people just want to go in 110%, and they're like, I'm trying to eat clean all the time and then I'm binging and blah 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 blah. So there's feel like I eat such a balanced diet. Of course I eat like 80% healthy, of course I do. I have a very good routine with my diet and my lifestyle and my training, and I want to tell you guys like my kind of best tips for how to actually get there, because it wasn't always like that. I had periods where I was trying to eat 1200 calories. I had periods where I was trying to eat 100% clean all the time. I've had days where I was trying to do HIIT and weights and walking and 10,000 steps and all these things. So I'm going to do a bit of a Q&A from Instagram and go through it and, you know, kind of answer some of your guys concerns about your health and fitness journey. One of the questions, I'm not going to read names because some of them are too hard to read. This seems to be quite a common question, and it was, keeping at it, I only stick to programs for a couple of weeks. If you struggle to stick to a program, you're probably doing too much for what you can actually do, either for your ability level or for just your schedule in general. If you're a really busy person, and I mean a really busy person, and the gym's new to you, it's going to be very difficult to just go in full throttle and start training like 5 times a week. You've got to be realistic. If you are just starting out, to like start with baby steps and go 2 times a week, go 3 times a week, and start from there. And once you're used to that, you can obviously up it from there. If you are someone that thinks, you know what, 3 times a week is enough for me, then that's why I have target section workouts on my target workout section on my website. So if we go onto vegan aesthetics, for example, I'm just going to show you, you can in fact just select full body workouts. So if you're somebody that's training 3 times a week and you maybe want to have like an overall workout everywhere equally, you want to be doing full body workouts. So obviously here is the vegan aesthetics website. If we scroll down, you go to full body, and there are a bunch of full body gym workouts, and there's a bunch of full body home workouts as well, and that way you can actually train 2 times a week or 3 times a week. They are not like a 12-week plan version. These are just extra workouts if you want to deviate from the plan. But if you are someone that wants to do the home workout challenge, then there's 4 workouts per week. If you're someone that wants to do the gym challenge, there's 5 workouts per week. But those 5 workouts, they are 2 leg days, so you could also drop a leg day. If you want to follow the 12 weeks, you drop a leg day and you've got 4 workouts, or you can do the 4 workouts at home. Otherwise, there are target workouts, and you can just do full body and just kind of make up your own one as you go. But yes, just be realistic with your own goals, your own time, and what you can actually commit to. So these ones are kind of about food. So not being able to put on muscle easily, no matter how much I work out. So when this question actually, like, I actually find this really interesting, because I think people think that they just have to work out like crazy to put on muscle mass, but that's actually not the case. You have to fuel your body after it. When you work out, you break down the muscle, and then you have to fuel your body to build the muscle, i.e. that's why people bulk or they eat in a calorie surplus, because the food is what actually helps your muscles grow, along with sleep, water, that kind of thing. It's not a case of, oh, I'll go to the gym loads and eat 1200 calories and I'll be a machine. It's actually the opposite. You want to make sure that you are in fact eating enough food to put on the muscle mass. And obviously this is different for everyone, hence why I'm suggesting to start off at your maintenance, and you can see how your body responds. If I was to ever cut, which I've only really done once or twice, the kind of most recent one and the most intense in terms of being the one that I stuck to for the longest would have been last year, getting ready for my wedding. I didn't change my training at all. I adjusted my calories and I added in a step goal, but other than my actual gym program stayed exactly the same. If I'm ever trying to adapt my physique in any way, it's my food I manipulate and not my training. Maybe slightly my training if I maybe focus less on strength and more on like muscle building, that kind of thing. But overall, I have a balanced program. I've been able to train both strength and hypertrophy, or hypertrophy, however you want to say it, i.e. muscle building. And my diet is what I would manipulate if I'm trying to actually change my aesthetic. Again, boredom is something, that's why getting a program is a good idea, especially one that varies. So my 12-week challenge comes in both the home and the gym, come in 3 phases. So every 4 weeks the plan changes, so that you are not stuck doing the same thing for 12 weeks, because 12 weeks is a very long time. Let me see what else. it seems to be consistency for people, and like I said, it's definitely finding what actually works for you in terms of the gym and what is actually realistic, whether you're actually doing home workouts or gym workouts. If you can only commit to 3 times a week or 2 times a week, then that is what you commit to, and you put it in your diary and your schedule, and you say, this is what I'm doing and this is when I'm doing it, and that's that. It does tend to be the food though for most people, which I really don't struggle to eat healthily because I like healthy food. And I definitely don't ever struggle to be vegan either, because I know that's a concern for people. Is like the what's the word? Like eating enough maybe, or eating balanced, which my cookbook up there along with Vegan Aesthetics is the whole idea of my whole business, is to show you how to eat a balanced vegan diet as well. So high protein with your carbs and your fat, to make sure that you're not just eating like a plate of potatoes. Nothing wrong with a plate of potatoes, but it's not a balanced meal, especially if you're trying to get results in fitness. Yes, eating enough. So a lot of people do actually struggle to eat enough, and I would say if that is you, definitely focus on higher calorie foods, and you can still do this whilst eating healthily. And I find the easiest way to do this would be, so if I have a smoothie for example, put in 2 bananas, throw in some dates, throw in some nut butter, throw nut butter and maple syrup on top of your oats as well. Add avocados and nuts and olive oils and things to your dinner as well. Just adding in those things, because they are so high in calories, you can easily add in 200 or 300 calories a day with a banana, tablespoon of nut butter and like half an avocado. And I don't think people realise that. I think you have to eat these massive portions, when really you just have to make smarter food choices. And also the same if you're doing the opposite. If you're actually eating too much, then you have to kind of say, where's the bulk of my calories coming from, and can I do without 10 dates? Yes, you can. 10 dates has like a lot of calories, for example. Or swapping out, let me think, what would you swap something out for? If you eat nut butter in your porridge, maybe swapping that out for berries instead. Just like really adjusting and seeing where your calories are coming from. If you're someone like me that really likes syrup, so I like syrup, but I eat maple syrup, but I do know a lot of other influencers, that is an area where they don't want to actually put their calories to, so they'll use like the kind of sugar-free syrups and that kind of stuff, which you can get from the likes of My Protein and other supplement brands, but it's not for me. It's not for me. I will not give up maple syrup in my life. Sticking to a diet and not giving in to cravings, and there's a lot of like cravings and periods and like binging, late night eating and that kind of stuff. And I think that comes down to, you have to really look at your diet. And I know I keep saying this, but it's so important. And see, I think once you finally get into a routine that works for you, you will understand how simple it can actually be to just live a healthy lifestyle. Once you get into a routine that works for you, it's really like, I don't have to second guess or think anything that I do. I have a routine. I actually have my day from like 8 AM to 6 PM written out in a bit of paper, but that's only because I know exactly what to do in a day that works for me, and in a week, over the course of a week. You just have to find what that is that works for you, and just don't overcomplicate it. So for example, when we're talking about like overeating or binging or cravings and periods and that kind of thing, let's talk about the periods first. Periods suck. But if your body is going through that every month, now I understand that to go through that every month and to like overeat and junk food and stuff is really going to, like, to do that regularly will obviously dent your progress, but at the same time, it is something that we go through as women that really does need chocolate. So you can either be more aware of how much of the chocolate you're actually consuming. You can find healthier alternatives, or even if it's like ice cream and things, try sorbet, or try just, instead of eating out of a tub, which I am so bad for, not measure it out but put it into a bowl. Just being more aware of what you're actually doing and what you're actually eating. But when it comes to junk food, everybody likes junk food. I love sweets, I love cake, I love chocolate, I love biscuits, I love it all. I am a sweet food person, and I will be till the day I die, and I will absolutely never give up dessert. I will not do it. I refuse. I absolutely refuse, because it's soul food. So I like to think that there's food for the body, there's exercise for the mind, and there's desserts for the soul, and you need all three. You do. You need all three. So for me, in terms of junk food or desserts or unhealthier options, I will talk you through what I eat in a day. So my breakfast is porridge with nut butter, chia seeds and syrup. Healthy. My lunch tends to be smoothies with a protein powder, which is like bananas, almond milk, what else is in there? Protein powders, cacao powder, that kind of thing. Healthy. Then I've been starting to actually eat like a bowl of fruit before my dinner because I felt like I wasn't eating enough. So I have like pineapple and strawberries before dinner, and then my dinner is tofu, rice and veg, most nights with teriyaki sauce. Healthy. So after that, if I have 2 or 3 squares of Bourneville or a handful of chocolate buttons or a protein cookie or something like that, that is absolutely totally fine with me, because if you look at the rest of my day and then that small section, even if you did that every single day, I'm talking like, I don't need a lot of chocolate to be satisfied. I literally need a couple of squares, or I need like a handful of chocolate buttons or something like that just after dinner, or I need a couple of gummy sweets or like something like that. It doesn't have to be extreme, and it doesn't have to be like you're binging out and going crazy. But if you do that every day, like if you're someone that needs sweet food and you find that you're binging, if you actually, rather than binging out 2 or 3 times a week, after you've eaten all your healthy food late at night, if you think, I actually really want an Oreo, or I really want, you know, 2 or 3 squares of chocolate or a couple of little sweets, if you do that most days, you will not binge, because you're not restricting yourself and you're not saying that you can't have something. I definitely found that that's what worked for me. Just having something when you crave it, but just being responsible about it and just having some and not going absolutely crazy and over the top. Now don't get me wrong, there's days where I'm like, do you know what, that's not enough, I need the tub of ice cream, and that's also absolutely fine. But I have found that I maybe do that every couple of months. That is maybe if I'm stressed, it's maybe if I'm tired, it's maybe if I'm on my period, like there's other reasons, and it's not anything to do with the way I'm training or eating. So I think that that's kind of my advice on the food part. Don't restrict yourself to a point where you binge, because that ultimately is a cycle you just do not want to get into, because you can get back out of it very easily. But when it comes to diet, I just feel as long as you are conscious of how much you're consuming and your food is actually coming from healthy sources 80% of the time, and you have your wee bit of chocolate here and you have your wee Oreo there, you're absolutely good to go. And I also love going out for dinner. I'm going out for dinner tomorrow night with my husband. We are going on a date night. Finally, we've had like 2 this whole lockdown, and it's never something that I am like, oh, I'm going out for dinner, oh my god, I need to rethink my whole day, I need to rethink my whole week. And I don't call it a cheat day, I don't call it anything like that. It's very much, that is life, and that's an experience, and that's something I'm going to have with my husband or friend or whoever you're going out with. And I think you need to think about that as well when you are, this is really like extreme, but you're never, like if you look at photos of yourself, you're going to be like, oh my god, that was the day we went out for dinner. You're not going to be like, oh my god, that day I couldn't eat breakfast and lunch because I went out for dinner. Like, that's not the way you want to live. So I hope this was helpful. I feel like I blabbed on. I always blab on. It's 22 minutes long. That's where we are. And I answered a few questions. They did kind of fall under the same categories. They always do. But I just wanted to have a look just to make sure I was answering the bulk of the concerns. But you guys, like I said, my next challenge launches next Friday on the 2nd of October. First link in the description, veganasthetics.co.uk. It is the last one of 2020. So make sure you are on the ball, signed up for that, and I will I will see you in my next YouTube video, but also hopefully over there at Vegan Aesthetics for starting next Monday.